I've talked to some girls
and
on OnlyFans, and they don't pay taxes.
That's
and like,
crazy.
You're dumb.
It's a little much. Yeah.
You're gonna be hit with a bill for $3 million in a few years, and you're not gonna have it.
Yeah,
that makes me scared.
That's crazy. Let's just get into this concept. I didn't mean to go to this right now, but this concept where there are some women out there. Nellie came on our show, The Dating Coach, and she said something to the effect of, if I have a man, and I know he's going to, and he's super high status, I know he's going to cheat, just don't bring it home with him. And then a bunch of girls were like, yeah, for sure, he takes care. We're asked, if he takes care of you financially and he cheats every once in a while and doesn't bring it home, would you be fine with it? I'm not making my own prescription here, but I was just shocked at how many women said that they'd be fine with that.
I think that's true. I think I grew up and like went to a liberal arts school and was very much on that end of the spectrum. And now the older I've gotten, I think that I definitely subscribe to the like women needing security, and those things are just more important. I'm not surprised that a lot of women feel that way.
Do you feel that way?
I've never been in that situation, so it's very hard for me to imagine. Because I've always very much taken care of myself.
Yeah.
So it'd have to be, but I will say that in taking care of myself now, it is exhausting. And I know a lot of women I'm friends with that are more independent.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of
tired.
It's funny. It's funny to me now to look at myself when I was 24 and be like, man, I fucked up, because maybe I should have like gone more, like the things CJ
more dumb,
prioritizes. I see the value in them. It's not like I shit on CJ for wanting to find a rich man. I can totally see the appeal. I tell this to her all the time. I'm like, I'm exhausted. Everything in my life I have to take care of, or it falls out from under me. And the feeling, if you had a man who was still loving and all the good things, but once in a while, but you knew you were good, then yeah, I totally can see that being great.
That is something unique, CJ. Like, you are very unapologetic about how tall does a man need to be, and you say $5 million.
She was about to say, I don't care about the height.
I was just going to say, what? Okay,
like,
have we met?
What color eyes do you like? $5 million.
Yeah.
Minimum.
I think it's, as I've gotten older and as I've grown in my sobriety, I'm coming up on 5 years in April, I have gotten more comfortable in advocating for my needs, because I know that I'm going to be happier in a relationship, and I know that I'm going to make a better partner in the long term. And I also am now understanding that I need to risk having an uncomfortable conversation and ask kind of for what I need up front.
Yes.
And risk potentially losing that person in order to find somebody that is saying, you know what, I'm down for this. This works for me. And then finding the right one for me, and then going off together.
But then with these girls, I'll notice that I think that if I was a woman and my boyfriend was paying to have a relationship, a virtual relationship with a woman where she was getting closer, I think that would be horribly detrimental.
I have to say, that question or that stance has never actually been brought up on the show. And I have to agree 1,000%. I would flip out. In part because he's like, I know how much these girls are making, and I'll be like, you're giving her, like, this is a lot of money. Yeah. I always say too, if a guy's going to the strip club, baby, you spend whatever you enjoy, I'll be right there with you, but you're going home and you're spending double on me tomorrow.
Yeah.
I would freak the out because he's like giving this person money.
Yeah.
I would freak out. But like if he's just jerking off the I'd be like, great, babe.
Like
see you in a little bit.
Even if, like, obviously all of this is bad, but like, even if it's not even buying videos of him of sexual intercourse, it's like conversation that you're having with the short Filipino man who's pretending to be her.
It's relational.
Like,
it's a relationship, which is why it's like you guys talk about this a lot. When women cheat, they will go and they'll fall in love and they'll have a relationship. And then when men cheat, that's kind of the thing. Like when men cheat, they'll still, it's like proven that he goes home, he still loves his partner.
So about 8 out of 10 times when a woman cheats, she falls in love with her affair partner. About 3 out of 10 times a man does.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the difference.
But that's what I'm saying. I would freak out because if a guy was my boyfriend or somebody I'm dating, I found out that he's having like this relationship back and forth with this girl, I would then think he's going to leave versus, okay, well, he cheated, but he came home. Like, I don't like that, but like he came home to me. He was okay. Everything was good. I don't prefer either, but I'd be less afraid he was going to leave.
I think because you and I have seen so much I think you're
We have
more
seen some
evolved.
shit.
You and I are more evolved than a lot of people.
Are we evolved or devolved?
I mean, I don't think you're bitter.
Kayla would.
I'm not bitter. What's the number like of monthly allowance that's like the going rate? I don't know the inflation numbers. Like what would be the going rate now?
Like for me, I wouldn't want. Okay, so here's the thing.
We don't have to say for you. Let's just average out you. And I was going to say 6 other girls' names.
Here's the thing. I don't even want a monthly allowance at this point. I just think it would be so nice, if somebody like came along and paid off my Amex every month. And it's not that bad. Like some months are crazier than others. Christmas.
What's an average Amex month for you?
I think, for me right now, I'm paying it. So, we're keeping
we don't use the Amex.
Yeah, the Amex is like, that thing got a fee on it. I'm paying $800 whether I'm swiping it or not. So, damn.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's got like a fee. Kayla knows.
I got the Chase Sapphire. It's like $550.
I think it's 500. I think Amex is 500.
Oh, is it?
I
was
just
thinking about
know
getting
that
one of
they
those
charge
also.
even if you don't spend, which up until I had gotten an Amex, I'd never.
Bro,
that was so foreign to me.
I got so many miles on my Chase that I'm probably going to do an Amex too.
That's why I like my Amex. I use it. I think this flight was free because I use it so much.
Exactly.
I don't put anything on my debit card.
Yeah.
Me neither.
That I just can fly the hotels. You get the guaranteed 4 p.m. checkout. You get the 11 a.m. check-in.
I try to pay my stuff off early so that I can get the points in quicker.
Ideally,
so I can do that. Like the idea of owing people money. I was like, I'm not paying.
That's why I like the Amex. I don't think it's like that anymore, but I like the original concept that like you have to pay it off every month.
Mm-hmm.
And mine's set no matter what it's at, every month it's paid off. And if I don't have money to pay off my Amex and then like a billion times more than that, I don't feel comfortable.
Of course.
I was just trying to think of like the average. I mean, I think that probably $10,000 is a good place to start.
That's about what I was thinking.
I think some girls would say that that's not enough, and I know some girlfriends that truly would not be enough for them. I'm not even saying that would be, for me, my personal thing. I've had months where the bill's been more than that, and I have had months where the bill has been vastly under. And I also think that some girls in Vegas would be like $10,000. I'm barely walk out the door for less than that.
Not only is it 10K, it's 10K from multiple dudes.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like these guys don't understand, like the more you pay them, the less they respect you.
So they're just giving. So are people just giving you, like they're selling you? How is this transaction?
I think some of these girls have men giving them cash.
Yeah.
I think no.
You're
not supposed to do $10,000. You want to do it cash, and then you like deposit it. Do you
just give her like a debit card? You just give someone a debit card? Would that be the way?
I think
a prepaid. Go to Walgreens.
Yeah, I feel
just give them a with your account. Like give them a debit card with your account.
I have a question.
I mean, that would be.
I don't want to forget. How many girls do you know that don't pay taxes?
Oh, I mean, every stripper that I'd ever worked with back when we were running all cash, I may or may not have paid taxes when I was a DJ at a strip club. I would get tipped. Listen, man, making $45,000 a year and all in cash in 1998 was a good money.
Yeah.
No, I mean now, like nowadays, I feel like I've talked to some girls on OnlyFans and they don't pay taxes.
That's
and like
crazy.
You're dumb.
It's a little much. Yeah.
You're gonna be hit with a bill for $3 million in a few years, and you're not going to have it.
Yeah.
That makes me scared.
That's crazy, man. That is really crazy. Well, I'll tell you one thing that I've found that's really awesome. You guys probably realize this, is that because I'm a content creator, I can write all this stuff off.
Right.
I write my haircut off. My girlfriend's on my show all the time. I write her boob job off. Like I can write everything off.
I fucking love that.
Yeah, shout out to MJ, my accountant. She'll write off. I mean, the thing she wrote off last, I've never seen anything like that. I mean,
oh my God.
she was
gotta give me her information.
6 digits of write-offs. So I was like, how is that possible? It was crazy, man. But yeah, like having a good accountant, man, it really, at first I was like, man, I can't believe this woman is charging me $4,500 to do my taxes. And then I look back and I'm like, she saved me so much money.
Right.
It was crazy. So that is one of the things that you find out. But like I have, whenever I want to do a thing, like for instance, let's say I was going to go skiing, right? I would stream it.
Right.
I would stream the skiing, and then I would interview a skier. I would just, hey, Mr. IRS, take a look here. This is like, and then I then write the whole thing off.
Good
and
for
I
you.
learned this from other YouTubers. They do the same thing. Whatever one of my friends is a YouTuber and he likes to buy cards on Madden or FIFA or whatever. So he just streams it. And then he's like, no, I can write this off. Yeah.
But that's incredible. And I think that's really the beauty of
capitalism.
Well,
the American tax
content
code.
creation now versus content creation, 10 or 15 years ago when I was doing the live streaming and the webcam. We always needed to be made up. We always needed to.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't even want us to eat on the stream. Phones were still a bit newer, and they didn't want us on our phones back then. That wasn't that big of a deal. But we needed to portray kind of like this very put together version of ourselves. No boyfriends, it was wild. There was a lot of rules. And then now, like you were just saying, everything is content. Everything is content. All of it. The good, the bad, the ugly, the in between. You know, like you were saying, the guys are they're streaming fights now, whereas back in the day you'd be mortified. You'd be like, oh my god, I don't want people to know I had a fight. Now people are actively
you get your
seeking
ass
that.
kicked and your girlfriend cheats on you and you go viral,
Right? And you
Bro,
exactly,
this is a
and
new
you
thing.
stream the
whole
thing.
like Jake
like,
Paul
what?
neon effect that's going on now. It's like the more you can get cucked and humiliated, the more followers you have.
God.
It's
No
madness.
downside. I guess that's good.
I'm just like, it's just so crazy. Like losing in a fight, like you're better off. Like Dylan Dennis, he lost the fight, but we can all agree he won. He won. Okay.